Hey, I'm Mrs. Moss. I'm a lady in Richmond, Virginia, trying to stir up some healing for post-abortion issues. And who do I love? I love the church. And I love men, and I don't think the men are getting the healing that they should be getting. And I think they're suffering a lot from their abortions. So I want to talk today about a whole bunch of stuff. I think I'm going to I talk a lot about grief because it was one of my main issues in my own healing. And exhort you to grieve in healthy ways. But first I want to tell you like 5 little stories and things I think are funny. Well, the other day I bought these cookies, these almond cookies from the drugstore, and I was eating them and I thought, these aren't bad. And that made me laugh because they were cookies from the drugstore. When I was like 16, 17, my sister and I worked in a nursing home, and there was a lady there who, after she ate, she'd yell at us to come take her teeth out, and we would run away because we didn't want to take her teeth out. So, come take my teeth out. This other nurse, who was an older woman who was kind, told us, she said, that lady over there has no family, no friends, no one comes and visits her. And if you're talking about the concept of unseen persons, this lady was an unseen person. And post-abortive people do a lot of suffering because they feel their aborted babies are very real to them sometimes, and that they are unseen persons. So sometimes you think you're crazy feeling all these feelings for this person who is unseen by everybody else. I think the whole concept of horror movies, which I don't go to, is sort of funny. I think it's funny that people go to horror movies and they like to be scared and want to worry about what's around the corner, what's out there in the woods, and they enjoy scaring themselves. That's a funny concept to me. Now here's a little story about my friend Susie. Susie and I went to a big hair show. Color companies come and try to sell their nice color lines to salon owners. So they asked for volunteers, and Susie and I volunteered to be hair color models for this hair color company. And the whole thing that was so hilarious about that was Susie had this really strong hair. She joked about it herself. It was coarse. She had trouble covering the gray. So, make a long story short, she got rejected by the hair color experts. They said they weren't going to take her as a model because her hair was too tenacious, which means really strong and impervious. So, man, we joked about that. This is my exhortation to you who are still working on your healing or in the midst of your healing or going to get healed, to grieve in healthy ways. I was in some healing groups with some women under a banner of love, and we had to encourage each other. It was a long season. That we had to grieve in healthy ways that were not damaging to ourselves and blah, blah, blah. The abortion numbers are so big. If you wanted to, you could almost look at the kids out there and consider them like a remnant. So my exhortation to you is, I know that's far-fetched, but I like how it feels to my heart. You want to take your loss and flip it around and send that pain in a fruitful direction. You could consider doing what I call assisting the remnant. If we've lost so many kids, you could go adopt a teenager. Consider them a remnant of what's left of his generation. You can mentor him and speak into his life. You could spend your energies assisting the remnant. If you have a lot of pain for your lost baby and say, oh, I lost my baby was an unseen person, I have all this love for this baby that's not here, you could flip your loss. You could go to a nursing home with some almond cookies from the drugstore. A nurse could tell you exactly who has visitors and who has no visitors. You could love on that person in the nursing home. You could take some of your love that you don't have your baby here to lavish the love on your baby. You could honor God, honor the name, honor the memory of your baby by adopting an unseen person. There's 2 gazillion unseen persons all over America sitting in nursing homes with no one to visit them, no one to bring them almond cookies from the drugstore. That's a positive way to take your loss and flip it and grieve in a healthy way. All right. After I passed the 30-year mark of my abortion, I had this day where I was like, oh, I could have been a grandmother by now. And it made me mad. But it made me mad in a good way. And it made me mad in a tenacious way. I talked about my friend Susie being rejected at the hair show by the hair experts because her hair was too strong. Her hair was too strong. The hair experts rejected her at the hair show. That grandmother love can be a tenacious and strong love. And when I hit that 30 years and realized my loss of a child and now possible grandchildren, less people on this earth to send the love of God out to the world, then I got all tenacious inside. And then I said, I'm going to set my face against this loss. And it looks like this. And I set my face. And I determined that I was going to do everything I could to be full of life, to speak life into people, to live fully, to speak words of life over people. I am determined to send more love out to the world through Jesus, not my awful human love, but the love of God out to the world. And I think you should scare people with that. People go to horror movies, they like to be scared. I try to picture this love of God in my chest, all multiplying, getting ready to bust out like an alien, chasing people down. People like that. They want to be scared. I think you should scare people with your love, with your life force. It's a healthy way to grieve.